It goes without saying that without the world that you created, none of this would be possible. It's been a long time since you've passed, and it's taken me some time to even say it, but I would be remiss that my first video since your passing I didn't at least acknowledge and thank you for everything that you've done. Akira Toriyama sensei, hontou ni arigatou gozaimasu. Hey guys, welcome to another roleplay review. This one is going to be Struggle Against the Oozaru. And it's also going to be a small RP talk. So I don't know how I'm going to actually title this video. I don't know how long this video is going to be. But there's just some things that I need to talk about. There's some things that this log has brought to my attention. Or maybe I'm just ready to talk about it. But without further ado, hi, I'm the guy trying to put it all together, Riz. And yeah, let's get into this video. So I guess if I'm first to talk about it, I looked back and recently saw that I did a review on Once Upon a Tower 5 months ago from the time of recording this, which would put it somewhere in October that I reviewed the log. The log itself probably happened a couple weeks, if not a month before that. So we're probably at least 6 months out from when Eichenbahn came to me in Hell's Gates and said, hey, do you want to roleplay Corrin for me? Because I'm thinking about climbing the tower. And here we are with just the first log since meeting him. And I'm going to own up and say it. The whole reason this has taken so long has been entirely my fault. I feel like I've really let our roleplay community down in the way that I have kind of like not NPC'd this and not really done my admin duty for this. So when I talk about the actual review of the log, I hope that I can clarify some things on my feelings about it. And I'm just going to say I did enjoy the log. I thoroughly, 100% no bullshit, enjoyed what you guys put on page. I enjoyed what I read. Is there things that I wish was there? Yes. How can I even expect you guys to know that if I didn't do my job and tell you what was there? So to kind of walk it back, yeah, it was, we'll say even 7 months ago that Ike asked me to do this. And part of me was like, yeah, okay, I can role play Corrin for Ike. And then Ike was like, hey, everybody, Coco's climbing Corrin's tower. Let's all go do it. And I think just at that, I felt overwhelmed and was like, oh God, now I have to NPC Corrin for everybody. And this is becoming like a thing. This is a big deal. And I think I just let the pressure kind of get to me and I didn't jump right in. Ike asked me before he even started climbing the tower, he was like, hey, what should the tower climb entail? And Nigmus may not remember this, but in a few ages ago, it was actually the first age that we did, so this is some 15 years ago, Dumison climbed the tower, to which my NPC was the Guardian at the time. And when Dumison climbed the tower, I kind of had made it said that, like, yeah, like, you can't just fly up here. There's some reason as to why, you know, we can fly everywhere within the universe. It's just when you get to this tower, can't climb up it. And he still wanted to do it. And, you know, I was like, well, you're tier 2. You got to be at least tier 3, maybe even 4 to get up here. And he just wanted to see it. In classic Doomiston and Nigmas fashion, he just wanted to see what would happen. And, you know, we're NPCing, and I was NPCing the tower as if it were its own separate character. It itself broke apart and started to, you know, create these big storms, and there was lightning, and, you know, Doomiston couldn't fly, so he's like jumping and trying to get across it. And as much as I felt like it was a good log, it also felt like, you know, I'm admin dick waving and he's, you know, more dick waving, and we were just butting heads instead of writing a story. And so when Ike asked me to do it again, all these years later, like, that feeling of failure snuck back in. And I just didn't want to have my hands tied with it. I didn't want to taint this journey for anybody. So I was like, hey, like whatever you want. The sage is your NPC. However the sage feels that it would take to get up to heaven, technically, is up to you, and you create it. And so we started climbing the tower, and part of the issue that it's not an issue. Part of the thing that made it interesting for me as the person who's admin in Corrin was that I need Discord to open. That the climb kind of was the quest, to where, and I may have said this before in videos, but I'm going to say it again because it's off the top of the dome. But when people were climbing the tower, they had to overcome some personal demon or even personal attachment to reach Corrin's tower, to reach Corrin himself and beyond. So the climb, the quest, kind of resolved the reason for reaching there. So when I saw that all these people had made it, I'm like, as Corrin, like, okay, now what, right? Because you kind of did the thing that I would have had you do just to get here. So now what? And specifically when we had the first meeting of Corrin, I asked each individual player of like, well, what is your reason for being here now, right? You've climbed the tower. Essentially, you've climbed the tower, you've overcome worldly possessions and kind of let go of things that would be holding you back from reaching your maximum potential. So now what do you want here? And that's just bad adminning, that's bad DMing, because I should never leave it up to the mortals to tell me where this story goes, right? And in that instance, I kind of was like, all right, well, now I have nothing. I had nothing. I was role-playing Corrin and thinking things off the top of the dome, but I kind of had no guidance to give them, which is why, again, I feel like this whole tower thing is just, it hasn't been what it could have been or what it should have been, especially since this is a big, iconic Dragon Ball moment. We don't really have a big bad, right? Now, you guys know I have not watched Dragon Ball through and through, and I know I own every single chapter of the actual manga that my dear friend purchased for me. That's something sacred that I don't want to break the seal and break the crease on it. It just sits in a nice room and I dust it because it's a whole complete collection. But I did do some research, right? When people were getting to Corrin's tower, when they were arriving here and fulfilling their quest, I looked up, like, okay, so why did Goku climb Corrin's tower, right? That was the first thing I asked myself, was like, why did somebody climb Corrin's tower? And I was like, oh, because he needed to defeat General Tao. And he just couldn't do it. So what happened? He went to Corrin's tower. He trained with Corrin. Corrin pretty much helped him unlock his senses to where, it worked on his speed. He was able to predict Corrin's movements. And they just basically played this game of cat and mouse, pun very much intended, for about like 3 days until Corrin was like, okay, yeah, you can fight on General Tao's level now. And because, who you are, you can go defeat him. But we didn't really have that. We just had I wanted to climb it because it's there. And Corrin was like, okay, so that's cool. All right, so cool. All right, and you, all right, and you're here. All right, so now what? What do you guys want to do? And again, it's not up to the mortals to figure out what they want to do. It's up to the admin to make the fun happen, make the story happen, and progress things. So I kind of had the remembrance that during combat month, Ike was really saying, like, he wanted to have a Oozaru fight with the Morts that were there and Nova's Sanctuary. He wanted Koshoro to, get the Rage Virus, transform into an Oozaru, and then go fight everybody. And he would play the big bad. And I kind of was playing off of that. That was what I wanted to see happen. Give him that moment that narratively didn't really make sense to happen during that time frame, just because of what Koshoro was going to go do with Fusen. So, he didn't really get that moment that he was looking for, and I just kind of wanted to give it to him. So that was where the train of thought came from with Korin, was to just put them into a fight against an Oozaru. And I guess this is where we're going to get into the log itself. So I really wanted two things to happen. I wanted, the Oozaru fight to happen because, Ike was saying that he wanted Coco to have this moment. But I also wanted to just have an iconic Dragon Ball Z moment. We have said that, the Oozaru is something that exists. Our players should all know that, yeah, this is something that happens with Saiyans. But we've never really seen it, and we've never had it, like, out of control, rampaging across, the battlefield Oozaru. So, I really wanted this to be a, not like super serious, but I did want it to be that iconic moment. I wanted Mist to be able to say, like, yeah, across my fights, I fought against an Oozaru. Same thing for Saliath. Same thing for Coco, to be like, yeah, I lost control to the Oozaru, and it rampaged across Jenny Village. And that's something that, in the back of his mind, maybe he enjoyed it, Maybe Koshoro letting go like that, maybe he really is in control and was just like, fuck it. I'm just going to let loose. I'm going to stomp around. I want to blow stuff up. I want to get back to my violent roots, and let me show you how violent I really could have been, right? I just want to let go. Or, I never want that to happen again. Like, if that's me snapping and letting go, who's to say what's going to happen when I get any stronger? And that's kind of the narrative that we can still push. That's something that we can still talk about. That's something that we can still, delve into. But I just wanted that classic Dragon Ball moment for the Morts. And in a very lazy way, to give them a quest to go do where I don't have to do any of the NPCing. Again, failure on my part. But, with the log itself, I asked the three mortals who took part of, like, what did you guys think? And I didn't want, like, a review like what we're doing right now. I just wanted to know, like, when you were doing this log, did you have fun? Did you think that there was something else that we could have done? Was, would you want to do something differently? I just wanted to make sure everybody was having a good time with the log, and getting an idea with what the morts are, and like where your guys' heads are at can kind of help me progress the story forward from the admin perspective. Since I was, so woefully unprepared for everybody. Now, I had done, research. I went and looked up, what's Mist about? What's Saliath about? I know pretty much everything about Koshoro. But for those two, it's like, what would be a good driving force for them to be participating in anything, any sort of training that Korin throws at them. Which is kind of what this log served as well. From Korin's perspective, he's watching this battle saying, like, okay, so this is how they fight. This is their determination. This is kind of what is driving them to do these things. And if there is something that I personally would have done different, I think one of two things. Either I would have role-played the Oozaru, right? And then gave Koshoro a chance to roleplay his character from within. Kind of like, like, I'm not in control of my body. I don't know how far that would have taken it, or how well that would have progressed it, but that's one thing that I probably should have done differently here, rather than just said like, "Hey, go, go stomp around." Or the second thing is just when it was happening, to be a little bit more present and to kind of give Ike some tips, because Ike, I'm going to say it, when you're in the driver's seat like this, you're way too nice. You're way too nice. This battle is a lot more even than I kind of feel like it should have been. And I know that you're all about like, let's just have fun, let's be fair. But to be fair, right? Koshoro is tier 2, Saliath is tier 2. I want to say Mist is also. Let me see here. Oh my god, I'm off kilter. So yeah, Mistroma is also tier 2, but you're also in Oozaru form, right? Like, you kind of can bully them a little bit more. You could have been more of a dick and more of a bastard to them than you let on. So, I mean, guys, if you're wondering why I'm not like going through post by post, it's a fight. It's a 2v1. You know, you have Saliath is a Saiyan who doesn't have a tail, so he doesn't have to worry about transforming into an Oozaru. Mistroma he's like Sonic the Hedgehog is really the best way that I can describe him. He's a Getty though, and they're just trying to keep Kosho focused on them and not destroying the village. They don't really know that they're in the past. They don't really know that the Jinny that they see is not the Jinny that they passed getting here. They just know that there, are people in the path of Koshoro's destruction, and they want to save him. So that's kind of why I'm not going over post by post. Again, I loved everything that was here. It was exactly kind of what I thought it would be, except for I just wanted the Oozaru to really kind of push them a lot harder and to, just mess them up a little bit more. It's, nothing wrong with it. A little friendly competition. And, that would be my only tip. There was some really good moments. One in particular was that Saliath kind of got Koshoro's attention, and then Mistroma was like slashing him all around with his bone sword kind of weapon, and it kind of really reminds me of Renji from Bleach, how he's got this like serrated bone sword that extends and is just slashing and cutting, and he's trying to get it to cut the tail off. And I know that Ike had told me that when this log was going on, he was willing to let him cut off the tail and end it at any point, but they wanted to keep going because, again, why not? It's a big funky Oozaru, so why wouldn't they want to fight him? And the log is perfectly fine. It hit every tick that I wanted it to, except for, just I wanted Koshoro to be able to showcase his actual character a little bit more, but I just went full on like, hey, I'm just gonna NPC for you guys, and just let's bust some knuckles. To be fair though, I did give everybody I gave everybody 4 greens and 4 reds, 4 greens and 4 reds, because I thought it was a very good fight. I thought it was a very good challenge for everybody. Again, me personally, I'd have fucked y'all up. Like, I'm serious. It would have been a fight for your MF in life. Cause I'm trying not to swear so much, but it was good. It was good. Maybe my mindset of go out and kill them would have kind of butted heads again. So maybe that's why Ike's the best one out of all of us. But I hope you guys don't mind. I am going to talk about the comments that you gave back to me about it. And I know they're like, I'm just going to go over it. So Mistroma said that, he thought that everything went well. They didn't really know a lot of how serious the injuries were going to be and things like that. Because it is this weird kind of like space time. Like, are we actually here? Are we not here? Because the lead up to this was I had them all eat a fruit, and once they ate a fruit, the next thing they know, they were in this situation. So, like, are we spiritually here? Are we physically here? Mist said that it felt dangerous and it felt impactful. And he also said, like the area damage could have been a little bit more because it was an Oozaru. Uh, and yeah, I mean, Mist said, all in all that they had fun. Ike, wow. Sorry. Ike's comment was mostly that, he was playing the villain, and that there were moments where he was, communicating, like I said, with the two of them, of like, hey, do you want to cut my tail off now? How do we want to finish this? And Ike's really good at coordinating things with OOC to make sure things go pretty smoothly, and again, just to maximize fun. And he did mention, and I noticed this too, mostly from Saliath, because I don't know the relationship between Koshoro and Nostromo. But Saliath was very like, I'm going to get you, sucker, and not very much like, I'm going to help you, Koshoro. And, it came across that way on page before I even asked you guys, like, hey, like, what did you personally think about it? And I think that is why I asked. I wanted to see if what I read and how I felt about it was something that I made up or if it was true. And, I kind of said the same thing, that, it felt like they weren't really trying to help Koshoro overcome this, that they were more trying to just stop a big bad, which, given the situation, I sort of kind of see like, hey, there's a big bad wolf, we got to go put him down. But at the same time, knowing the fight that Koshoro and Saliath had before, at the bar, forgive me for forgetting the name of the bar, but, they've known each other. They have rapport with one another. Koshoro's the one that kind of invited everybody and I don't really want to say team leader or team captain, but he's been kind of like the one spearheading everybody to come to the tower and to receive this training. So it was a little weird that, he started like saying like, oh, you're not a tiger, you're a kitten, and like kind of taunting him rather than being like, hey buddy, we're going to get you through this, especially since Saliath is also a Saiyan, who I would feel like if anybody understood that situation of like, oh crap, he's losing it, like let's help him out. It's not really, that's not really him. Let's help our boy out. I felt like it would have been him, and Saliath was just kind of like, nah, homie, like run the set, right? It was like you're just enough experience points for me to get to my next level, and that's just kind of how it read on paper. I don't know if that was the intent, but that's definitely how it came out. And man, did Saliath has some notes for me. I'm going to try to get through these. I mean, so in Saliath's notes, he said, it's worst case scenario. He thinks that, the Blutz wave deflector on Earth is no longer working. And, he's like kind of thinking, kind of all of this. But without a concern for Kosho, or maybe there is, right? And he kind of breaks it down. Kind of, he has his own review for it. To which, Saliath, if you want, I'll post your review on the bottom of this page. But it seems like everybody had fun, and I hope that you guys did. I hope that this was something that that you felt like, hey, I experienced this Dragon Ball moment on our roleplay channel, and it was good. It was a good time. I do love that you guys left it with the beam battle clash, because it then allows me to go in and do the NPCing that I should have been doing from the very get-go. There's a lot of things that I can do with this here. There's a lot of things that I want to do with this here. So hopefully I can get people together. I don't necessarily need everybody to be together to do this, because I know, for me personally, I can't roleplay till after 9 p.m. Eastern. Like, before then, you will not see me on channel able to do anything unless it's this week because I just happen to have some time off from work. I can do things while everybody's at school and at work. But normally, like throughout just regular life, until my kid goes to sleep, and she usually goes to bed between 8 or 9, I can't commit to anything. So that's kind of why I kind of am so not around anymore. But there's a whole laundry list of things. But I've talked your guys' head off. If you made it through this, almost 30-minute video, I appreciate it. I hope that when we continue this, it's better. It's better from my end to you guys. For everybody else, because I don't know who else is actually at the top of the tower, quote unquote, sleeping. I have notes and things that I can do for you guys. So, my name is Riz. Thank you for your time, and I'll see you guys later.